Imagine holding a tiny copper coin struck in Denver in 1956. A coin most people think is worth just a penny. But the right one, in the right condition, can explode into the thousands. Yes, thousands. Support our effort. Subscribe, like, and share so that we can bring you more videos like this. In 1956, America looked different. The post-war boom was transforming everyday life. New highways were being paved. Families were buying their first televisions, and pocket change flowed through millions of hands every day. In that river of coins, the 1956 D-wheat penny was one of the most common. Over 1.1 billion of them poured out of the Denver Mint, one of the highest mintages of the entire wheat series. But here's the part that makes this coin fascinating. Even though it was common then, and it's still common today, not all 1956 D pennies are equal. Most are worn, dirty, and circulated. But a tiny fraction survived with brilliant red color, razor-sharp detail, and almost untouched surfaces. And those are the ones that push into the four-figure range, even above $5,000, depending on grade and strike quality. Look closely at the front of the coin and you'll see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, the date, 1956, and just below it, the tiny D mint mark. That little d determines everything, because the Denver Mint was known for strong, bold strikes, but also for mint mark placement issues, which leads to some of the most collectible errors. And this is where the story gets exciting. The 1956 D penny has some legendary errors, and some of them can turn a simple penny into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands. One of the most famous is the RPM, or re-punched mint mark. Back in the 1950s, mint marks were punched into the die by hand. Every punch was manual, and when the worker's hand slipped even slightly, a second, third, or slightly offset punch could occur. These RPMs can be dramatic, showing doubled, shadowed, or diagonal mint marks. Some of them sell for $50 to $200, while rare dramatic RPMs can cross $500. Another error to watch for is the BIE die break, a tiny die crack between the letters B and E in Liberty, that forms what looks like an accidental extra letter, I. BIE varieties from the 1956 D series are heavily collected and usually sell between $10 and $75, depending on how bold the break is. But even more dramatic errors exist. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die caps, and broad strikes. A bold off-center strike showing 50% missing design but a full date and mint mark can easily reach $150 to $300, sometimes more. A full brockage or double strike can surpass $400 or $500. And if you find a major mint error on a coin that still has original bright red color, now we're talking premium territory. But that's just errors. The real giants, the true monsters of value, are the ultra-high-grade coins. The ones that somehow survived for 60-plus years without a fingerprint, without a scratch, without a single moment tumbling in a pocket with keys. Those are the coins that PCGS and NGC label with grades like MS66 Road, MS67 Road, and the nearly impossible MS67 Plus Road. And here's where the market gets wild. A standard 1956 D penny in MS65 Red sells for around $30 to $50. At MS66 Red, prices jump to $75 to $120. But when you hit MS67 Red, the population is tiny. Some of these have crossed $1,000, $2,000, and even pushed near $5,000 at auction depending on eye appeal and rarity in that grade. A coin that cost 1 cent in 1956, selling for more than $5,000 today. That's the magic of high numismatic rarity. Let's take a step back to the history behind it. In 1956, President Eisenhower was leading the nation. Rock and roll was exploding. Elvis Presley was becoming a national sensation, and the United States was preparing for a decade of massive economic expansion. The Lincoln wheat cent had already been in production for nearly 50 years, and in just a few short years, the wheat design would disappear forever, replaced in 1959 by the memorial reverse. That gives the 1956 D penny a special place in history. One of the final wheat pennies ever produced. Part of the closing chapter of an iconic American design. Now let's talk about finding this coin today. Because even though it's common, treasures still show up in the unlikeliest places. People find these in old jars, estate collections, deceased family members' belongings, yard sales, coin roll hunts, and even pocket change. Wheat pennies often hide in bank-wrapped rolls. And if you're lucky enough to find an unsearched roll from the 1950s, you might pull a brilliant red example worth serious money. If you're searching for a high-value 1956 D, color is everything. Collectors classify pennies as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or fully red, Rhode. The Rhode coins command the highest prices. They're bright, shiny, and look almost freshly minted. Combine that with a clean surface, no spots, and a razor-sharp strike, and you might have a winner. And once you find a coin you think is valuable, where do you sell it? For common circulated 1956 D pennies, you can sell them on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or to local collectors. But for high-grade coins or rare errors, you should consider heritage auctions, great collections, or Stax Bowers. These are the platforms where serious collectors spend serious money. And here's a big tip. If your coin looks flawless, or even close to flawless, always consider grading it. A coin raw might sell for $20, but graded MS66 Rhode, it could jump to $100 or more. And in the top grades, the difference becomes massive. Grading is what turns a four-figure coin into a documented gem with real auction power. After more than 6 decades, the 1956 D wheat penny remains one of the most collected coins in American history. Not because it's rare, but because its value depends on the condition you find it in. A worn one might be worth a few cents. A perfect one can be worth more than a new iPhone. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. The idea that treasures still hide in ordinary places, waiting for someone with a sharp eye to discover them. Support our effort. Subscribe, like, and share so that we can bring you more videos like this.